Team Databased, and we've decided to look more into the commute of CUNY students. So nearly 2/3 of CUNY students report feeling stressed because of their daily commute. A lot of students rely on buses, but these are frequently delayed due to traffic congestion, which causes a lot of frustration and time lost. One of the biggest factors that contribute to this are bus violations. So in order to ensure that we don't have any more violations, we could look more into the issues that are causing this. For each CUNY college, we've trained a model using past violations and other features to create predictions on the probability of when another violation would occur within each radius. When you hover over this, you're able to see that probability as well as the risk. Finally, we've also created some visualizations based on these metrics. So this graph here shows the number of violations per 100 trips and the total trips that were made within a 2-kilometer radius for each campus. As you can see here, there's a moderate inverse relationship shown between these variables. So some key findings are the high usage compared to the low violation rate. So some of the campuses with the highest bus trips within radius, like CUNY School of Professional Studies, for example, with approximately 1.5 million trips, has low violation rates. And another key finding was that for low trips, there was a high risk for a lot of different campuses. So for example, CUNY Graduate School of Public Health and Policy had minimal ridership of around 15 violations per 100 trips. For our campus risk analysis, we're able to see here the campuses that were most affected by bus lane violations. So these were ranked by violation exposure and risk factors, showing which campuses needed more attention for commute improvements. So this was done by pulling the MTA or New York City open data feeds and drawing a 2-kilometer circle or buffer zone around each of the CUNY campuses. After training our data on an elastic net logistic model with different cross-validation metrics, we were able to predict each campus's probability of being high risk for the next month using the previous month's data as inputs. We have another similar graph here that just shows a predictive analysis showing the probability of future violations near CUNY campuses. This helps prioritize intervention areas and allocate resources that could potentially reduce student commute stress. And it's color-coded as well for that, based on the risk. Finally, we have an exposure versus violation rate. So just for some context here, burstiness in this graph represents the temporal clustering or the irregularity of violations over time. High burstiness means violations happening in sporadic clusters over long periods of time, whereas low burstiness means that violations are more evenly distributed over time. So as you can see here, most of the campuses across all exposure levels show similar maximum violation rates, so around 0 to 4 per 100 trips. There are 3 to 4 extreme outliers, though, of campuses with very high violation rates in low exposure areas. There is also this one data point here that's above the 1.2 million exposure rate, but there isn't enough data to make conclusions about this point. And based on this, for high exposure, low violation areas, we should maintain current practices, while specific outlier campuses, as you can see here, needs further investigation. And we've also created college-specific level analyses that pretty much shows the number of trips within a 2-kilometer radius and that relationship with violations per 100 trips. So we have here for all the major CUNY campuses. And thank you.